Okay, now we're going to be covering part 8A of um, Hammerfight, which is the Melka option. Um, Basically, after defeating the arena series of levels in part 7, you're going to have two options. Either go to Melka or Aver-Aseed, or Melkah Fortress. Or Aver-Aseed Rock. This one we're going to do Melkah Fortress, but I'll also be doing a video for Aver-Aseed, which I'll be uploading right after this one. And I'm covering a series of missions again that are all one part of this part. We start off going to be kind of attacking some fortress basically and working our way through it in each part. We start off with these two guys here, and there's some infantry above us that are kind of shooting at something. I think they shoot at our enemies, but if you can throw them up into the building, that's a good thing, so try to do that as we just did there. And something I actually didn't learn until after I had done some of these videos already is that you can also capture any thrown weapons. You saw them throw some random daggers and things at me earlier. You can actually pick them up yourself and throw them back at the enemy. Typically I haven't used them in the videos up until now because I don't like to, I wanted to spend all my money on weapons, or actual weapons, instead of on the disposable items basically. And as you can see, I've even avoided using armor for all these videos so far, but as of the voiceover that I'm doing right now, I've actually already recorded additional videos where I have gotten to the point where I've started using armor and disposable weapons. But for the meantime, it saves us a lot of money not doing so. Although, if you're capturing them like I was just mentioning, then you're still saving money. So, that's always a good idea. Alright. And, just completed part 8-1A. Now, its next one is Assault. Or they're all named Assault, I believe. Alright, so now we're facing this dude. And big cannons and a lot of steel armor. We just threw him into the wall and that really knocked the crap out of him. I'm trying to fire the arquebus at him. Got a nice shot on him there. And followed it up with a decent hit from this blade of mine. We just keep knocking pieces of armor off. That overkill speed boost thing. Sometimes it can work against you like it just did there. Kind of spazzed out a bit. And it can be hard to control because of the sudden shift in speed. Or at least in my case. I've noticed this game, typically the speed of it can change depending on what you do. Like in my example, the speed actually kind of the game itself slows down, not just frames per second, but it actually moves slower when I'm recording than when I'm not. So that's something interesting, but it's really unavoidable. And then basically after you destroy all these guys, it's a victory. These levels are just a series of battles as you kind of move through this building. past that level. It got us a bunch of fame in the process. Okay, now we're on to mission 3. And as it starts off, we got a bunch of flying debris, and now we're facing these saw bots again. If you don't remember from before, you gotta hit them on the top. And then avoid those saws, because they can still do damage to you even after being detached from the robot itself. And definitely avoid getting dazed, because if you get dazed, they can just run into you and push you around, and it does a massive amount of damage. But as you've seen, I've switched back from the arquebus to the dual blades. It's really hard to hit these tiny guys with the ranged weapons. Or at least the arquebus. Once you get things like the mortar, I believe it'd probably be a little bit easier, but we don't have that yet, so it's not really an issue. And you just have to fight these robots for a set amount of time until our little counter counts down all the way. As you see, these things kind of run into each other a lot. And even if you don't hit them in the saw, or if you don't hit them in the actual robot part, as you've seen, you can throw them into the walls, and since they're so weak, the damage done by the impact is usually enough to kill them outright. And then timer's done, so now we've won this level. So on to the next portion of Assault. Alright, mission 4. Watch out, because as soon as this mission starts, those guys lunge for you. And, it's kind of strange. I don't really... Not 100% certain on this, but it seems like there's a significant time limit to this level. Caused by these fires that you can kind of see burning up. Because the fires eventually reach a bunch of explosives that are just going to really do a shitload of damage. And you don't really have so much of a countdown timer, as you just really have to hurry yourself up here and finish these guys off as quickly as possible. As you see, things started to explode just now. But I think that was triggered more by the victory. I think we actually would have had a little bit more time. But, yeah. The explosions can actually get to the point where they kill you. And, no, actually, I think this time the explosion didn't have anything to do with the victory. But yeah, the explosion can kill you. I lost before because of that. And just kind of another one of the game bugs. It seems like the explosion sound delayed the completion of the mission for some strange reason. That's the end of level 4 in part 8A. Alright. So if you kind of noticed, I apologize for the distortion on this one. This game seems to have a problem with full screen mode. which I tried to use because the game also has a problem with capturing the mouse sometimes, which is just really aggravating, but whatever. Point is, this level we're fighting this boss guy here, and he's actually not that bad. I found him to be easier than the Sophid. He'll eventually start pulling back and sending up these Sawbots, and a few of them will come up and then he'll return, whether or not you finish taking out the Sawbots. So make sure to take them out quickly before he comes back to keep yourself from facing too much stuff at once. Yeah, and it's 5 Sawbots as you saw before he returns. And just avoid those flames and then try to smash his arms. As you saw, we just blew up his flamer arm. So now he's just kind of got that grabber left. And I'm trying to take it out right now. Okay. And with that, that is the end of Chapter 2 and the Melkah Fortress missions. And then you would be heading on to Chapter 3.